Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about some concerning things surrounding Battlefield 6, but they're not that concerning in the grand scheme of things. However, they are important to the community. We're going to be talking about the assault weapon sling, which allows players to use dual primary weapons, and how apparently that is not removed from the game. DICE provided clarification, which we are going to cover in this video. Also, some comments from David Serland that could potentially split the Battlefield player base upon the launch of the game. And lastly, I'm going to try to cover a post that caused some confusion as to whether or not skill-based matchmaking will be in Battlefield 6. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's not in Battlefield 6. However, we're still going to cover the post because this is still relevant and important information. So let's start going over things. Thank you guys so much for hitting 85,000 subs. The support recently from you guys has just been absolutely extraordinary. Really can't thank you guys enough. If you do want to follow Battlefield 6, this is the channel for you. Be sure to hit that sub button, hit the like button, and I stream every single day on this YouTube channel and on Twitch. First link in the description. I've been having so much fun. The most fun I've had in the longest time streaming recently, so thank you guys so much for that. Now then, let's get into covering this stuff. So I just want to preface this by stating the problems I'm going to bring up are kind of hilariously tiny in comparison to some of the issues that were present in Battlefield 2042 and other previous Battlefield games. The fact that these problems can be fixed in one patch, and this is all we have to talk about before the game releases, is kind of remarkable. There was a post from the Battlefield community Twitter clarifying something that was said about the Assault class's weapon sling gadget. If you don't know what the weapon sling is, it allows the Assault class to use two different primary weapons. I thought they removed it, and seemingly a lot of other people thought they removed it. But clearly this isn't the case because during the creator multiplayer reveal event, people were running around and it was the talk of the town, even within the event, about people using ARs and shotguns, SMGs and shotguns, so clearly this was not removed. The post reads as follows: following feedback from Battlefield Labs participants, it was clear that players felt the earliest iterations of the weapon sling gadget was intruding upon class identity with its ability to use double assault rifles or any other signature weapon, and we agreed. As stated in our second community update on classes, this is being addressed. You will no longer be able to use the following as a second weapon with the weapon sling perk: assault rifles, LMGs, and sniper rifles. You can only use the following as a second weapon with the weapon sling: carbines, DMRs, and shotguns. So make no mistake, the weapon sling is still in the game. Again, we saw it at the creator event, and this raises a lot of concern. I don't personally think you should be able to use two primary weapons. I think it's overpowered, and I really do think you can make the assault class useful without making it ridiculously overpowered. As we saw from the gameplay from the creator event, there were still insanely powerful combinations. AR using a shotgun, ARs with DMRs, LMGs with carbines. I mean, the combinations were this lethal, and I don't think you should be able to do it. The next thing I want to cover has to do with open weapons versus closed weapons and how they're going to implement them in Battlefield 6. There was this post a little while ago now, on July 21st, that says open weapons versus closed weapons, why not both? Starting at open beta, players can choose official playlists, that's very important there, with signature weapons locked to class or not, more to come. And then fast forward to just a couple days ago, David Serland confirmed this at LA. DICE lead producer David Serland has officially confirmed on the scene in LA that Battlefield 6 will lock weapons to classes in the open beta and at launch. If you don't like this system, both styles, locked and open weapons, will make it into the launch regardless of how the beta goes. And then there's a quote from David Serland here: "It's not like this is a test where whatever you play more, we will choose. No, we will support both." Jumping back to the original post, it says, starting at open beta, players can choose official playlists with signature weapons locked to class or not. I interpreted this as they are going to test the open weapon system versus the closed weapon system, and after the beta is over, they're going to choose what system they're going with and put it in the base game, and maybe they will support the other weapon system in Portal for players to be able to choose. Fast forward to the very recent statement from David Serland, and apparently they're planning to have both systems at launch. But my question is, are they going to have both systems at launch in different official playlists? Because if they have two playlists, one with open weapons and one with locked weapons, They are directly splitting the player base over something as small as the weapon system. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but this really does sound like they plan on having 2 official playlists, and I don't think that's a great idea. If they do plan on having 2 official playlists for the different weapon systems, I think they're making a massive mistake. It will split the player base. It's not worth splitting the player base over. They need to decide between one of these weapon systems. I'll play the game regardless, and I think a lot of other people will too, but I would love some further clarification on this, and I want to see a decision made for what they're going to move forward with the base game of Battlefield 6 multiplayer. You can choose one system and still support the other system by having it available in Portal to be selected. Be sure to let me know what you guys think about these first 2 topics I just went over in the comments section, and especially about the next topic. This post from Battlefield Bulletin reads, DICE says Battlefield 6's team balancing will prioritize 4 main factors: your ping, your location, your skill, and server fullness. Such factors and their prioritization will be based on each game mode. It won't be the same across all. Then, there was a separate article from MP First titled, Battlefield 6 matchmaking won't rely heavily on SBMM, as other factors will take priority. This caused some concern and outrage from players. I saw people replying to these tweets, I'm canceling my pre-order, oh my god, the game is dead already, dead before it releases. But I think people are really massively misinterpreting this. I really don't think this is SBMM. I literally just think this is the team balancer. This is the team balancer that has been in Battlefield forever. If you remember playing Battlefield 4, there was a reason why your account had a skill rating, right? And of course, we all remember Battlefield 1 and I think Battlefield 5, sometimes you would see in the chat, balancing teams based on skill. So I really think the team balancer is what they're talking about here. I would not expect Battlefield 6 to play any differently from any other Battlefield game. In my experience from playing Battlefield Labs, using matchmaking in Battlefield Labs, it plays like a Battlefield game. I don't really think there's anything to worry about. Reading some blurbs from this MP First article, they have to say, SBMM has been a hot topic in the realm of online gaming for the past decade. Call of Duty especially has been criticized for its heavy and obvious use of it, which makes matches feel like a constant battle for your life, rather than promoting fun and evenly challenging lobbies. It's a concern that Battlefield fans fear will be the case in Battlefield 6, but the reality is nearly every multiplayer shooter has had SBMM in some way, including the Battlefield franchise. It's just never been anywhere near as severe as what Activision did with Call of Duty. With that said, it appears that Battlefield 6 will feature a matchmaking system similar to previous Battlefield games, with the studio prioritizing players' enjoyment rather than forcing them into a specific matchmaking pool. There are, of course, still factors that determine how matchmaking works, but it's not heavily reliant on just one. Some of the factors disclosed that would affect matchmaking were ping, player's location, server fullness, and skill. When it comes to prioritization and which factor leads, the studio revealed that this is based on the mode rather than being the same across all. And by far the most important thing to take away from this is skill will be the lowest factor taken into account when matchmaking servers. So make no mistake, they're not rug pulling us. They are not making the sickest Battlefield game we've seen in a decade, and then a day later, it comes out that the game is ruined with SBMM. This is not the case. I don't think it's any sort of concern. From my experience playing Battlefield Labs with the matchmaking in Battlefield Labs with random players, the game plays exactly like every other Battlefield game I have ever touched in my life. So, are a few of these things Battlefield 6's first official fumbles? They could be, especially if they do try to split the player base with 2 different weapon system playlists. I don't think that's a great idea. Simply make a decision, and I guess we'll just go from there. So, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, swing by a stream. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. First link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys jump in the Discord as well, and I will see you guys in the next video.